tired of overpaying for insurance? Make the switch today and put more money back in your pocket. Right Way Insurance offers unbeatable rates and exclusive discounts. Don't settle for high premiums. Contact Right Way Insurance at 405-607-6014 and start saving on the coverage you need. Affordable protection is just a phone call away with Right Way Insurance. That's Right Way Insurance, your trusted partner at 405-607-6014.
Have you or someone you know suffered a loss to your home or business from the recent storms? Before you accept a settlement, call Brown O'Haver at 405-735-5510. Brown O'Haver is a local-based company helping Oklahomans with claims since 1988 with preparation and expert analysis detailing your loss and insurance settlement. As your trusted consultant, Brown O'Haver can give you peace of mind and make sure you're getting what's yours. Call Brown O'Haver today, 405-735-5510, and make sure they're working for you.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You know, we try not to do this often. We try to only break it out when it really, really needs to happen, when there's really a reason to do it. But I think today's that day.
Oh, no.
I think it's time for a positivity hour.
Tyler, you're asking the wrong people at the wrong time. I can't even like the text line discourse has become so toxic that I can't even make a statement of fact without somebody coming after me. All I said earlier was OU is 4-2 right now, and immediately somebody texted in, "Stop with the 4-2 crap."
I mean, Steely's complaining about the whole locking arms thing as they get done with the pregame before the game. I mean, we're down bad right now. So I don't know if this needs to be offensive positivity hour or 2024 season positivity hour or what it needs to be. But, man, toxic is a very good word to use with what's going on right now.
I mean, listen, if you want to try for a positivity hour, be my guest. I'm just saying, keep expectations modest because people are anything but positive right now. Understandably so.
Offensive positivity hour. What you got? I'm really going to test you today. 405-651-3439. Sitting in on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. If nothing else, it'll be comedy gold today, which I think that we could at least use an hour of that after everything that we've been going through so far this week. And the picks nationwide, at least the early picks on this game that I've seen, are not going your way. My buddy Chris Phillips over at SEC Unfiltered, he's got South Carolina to win. A couple of other guys that do shows over there, there's South Carolina across the board. And then your pal, old Chris Hummer at 24/7 Sports, he does picks with another guy at 24/7. They both pick South Carolina to win outright.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would pick South Carolina to win outright right now because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I picked Oklahoma over Tennessee. I picked Oklahoma over Texas. I can't pick them over South Carolina. Not if you're asking me to be intellectually honest, Tyler. I have to take South Carolina to win this football game this weekend, especially with how much of a mismatch that South Carolina defensive line versus that Oklahoma offensive line seems to be.
Blue of Green Country says, screw positivity with 3 exclamation marks and 3 middle finger emojis. So that's a heck of a way to start it right there. Shark, thank you, Shark. I do agree with this. The weather will be nice on Saturday.
It will
be. For the first time this year, it'll feel like a fall football game. And we're supposed to wear white to it. It's a whiteout.
Doug and Norman simply said, bah humbug.
In all caps.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. 405 says, what do you mean we're not positive? We're positively pissed.
Bo in Murray County setting the bar real low. So far, no one on offense has had a DUI this season.
Well, since the start of the season, yeah. Okay, I'm willing to look at that as a positive, Bo. Hey, that's a good place to start, Bo. We can work with that. We can work up from that. So at least you guys are trying a little bit. One-star Eric, the Mets fan, just says, "You suck!" LGM, which means let's go Mets. Freaking, what an awful football season. The Mets are in the NLCS, tied 1-1. OU stinks on offense right now. Texas is the number 1 team in the country. At least USC's lost 3 games, I guess. Wearing white to match the winner's uniform, says Mike S. LaDonna from Lubbock says, I'm a huge OU homer and I'm depressed. 405, kind of ironic we're supposed to wear white this weekend, isn't it? 202 just says, whiteouts are stupid. 405, Tyler slamming that table like Brian Kelly. Yeah. I guess we're complaining about we brought up the whiteout for the first time this week, and everyone's like, God, I hate this whiteout. It's stupid, too. Maybe everyone will boycott, and it'll be everyone will just show up in their normal crimson instead. I don't know. What do we think the crowd's going to look like or be like this weekend? I never doubt the OU faithful, and I definitely won't now, but what do you think the crowd's going to look like 11:45 a.m.?
I mean, it'll be a sellout. Like, that building will be packed. Now, the question is, what are they going to sound like if Oklahoma goes 3-and-out a couple times to open the football game?
Well, I think you know.
There's going to be very little patience among the folks in that building, which, again, is completely justified.
Yeah, I feel like we've been saying this for 4 weeks now, so here's like week 5 of saying it, but, man, back in front of the home fans for the first time in a while, but how upset people are about the offense hasn't really changed since the last time that you played a home game. They need to get off to not even a fast start, just a positive start. Not a god-awful start where you turn the ball over early or get into an early deficit or, just don't look good offensively. I'm not even talking about a fast start, Parker Thune, because a fast start sometimes means 10-0. Just get off to a positive start, pick up some first downs, be able to run the ball, just be able to do some things. Don't come out, throw out a clunker, and then everyone's going to boo. I really hope that doesn't happen on Saturday, man.
East Texas Sooner doing his best. He says, at least we get to listen to Toby Keith at the end of the third quarter.
Yes. The Tennessee fans loved that last time. I wonder if the South Carolina fans will love it as much. Mark and the Lou, South Carolina fans will pay positively less for tickets. Yeah. Tickets on the secondary market right now are rather cheap. I checked on that earlier today. I also watched South Carolina and Alabama earlier today.
And?
Now, I haven't gone back and watched every single South Carolina game. I caught the LSU game earlier in the year when it was live. I'm not breaking any news here, but that defensive front, at least what it looked like against Alabama, is straight up nasty, man. They were picking off passes from Jalen Milroe. I think they sacked Jalen Milroe 5 times in that game. Like, their defense is real. Their defense is legit. Their defense does a very, very good job of creating turnovers. Now, on the flip side of that, they did do some good things offensively at times. Nick Harper's a really good player. Caught the touchdown to get down by 2 late. I like Rocket Sanders at running back, but I hope Lenoris Sellers turns the ball over on Saturday like he did against Alabama. Dude, some of those turnovers he had were bad turnovers. So there is where my hope is going to lie this coming Saturday, Parker, is that the OU defense, I still believe it's really good. Please turn Lenoris Sellers over, and please turn a couple of those turnovers into points. Turn them into scores. Go run them all the way back yourself.
I mean, that's pretty much your only recipe at this point. Your one recipe for victory, given the current makeup of this Oklahoma football team, is play really well defensively and hope that holds. Hope your offense can do enough. A 918 listener said, hey, our offense hasn't been good, but maybe they're playing bad so Elzinga can win the Ray Guy Award.
Hey.
Pretty unselfish of our team, honestly.
Hey, I like that positivity, yeah. How about that for a midseason hot take? OU will have a national award winner at the end of the year.
Five-star Randy said, here's a positive for you. At least nobody is poaching from the offensive staff. And now watch, Alabama's going to hire Emmett Jones in December.
How was South Carolina's offense, says a texter from the 405. Well, South Carolina's scoring offense is 76th nationally with 27 points per game. Let's see, their total offense is 92nd nationally, 362 yards a game. Rushing offense is 55th. Passing offense is 105th nationally. Now, it is important to point out that Lenora Sellers, QB1 at the start of the year, got hurt against LSU, didn't play against Akron, and returned against Ole Miss. But this is an offense that is capable for South Carolina. Again, Nick Harbor's a good player. Rocket Sanders is a good player, and they got a couple of other receivers as well. This is not the high-powered offense of Texas or some others that you may face. Like, South Carolina, to me, wouldn't be in the top 3 of offenses in the SEC that you're going to face this year. There is absolutely a world here where OU's defense comes back this week and plays pretty well. But guess what, guys? They're going to have to if you hope to win this football game. That's got to be true.
Yeah, well, yes, and they can play really well, but that's still only half the battle. 405 Taylor said, positive, Kennesaw State scored 5 points last night. Still ranked ahead of them on offense.
I was watching that because I made that joke at the end of the show. It's OU's only ranked in front of Kennesaw State for, I think it was explosive plays. And hopefully Kennesaw State, with only 5 points last night, did not surpass OU for explosive plays. 405, the only positivity that I can muster is that at least the rest of the SEC looks in pretty bad shape. If we can win 2 out of the next 3, then maybe we can get some guys healthy and make an end-of-the-season run. I've lost hope. Honestly, I've lost hope in the whole, well, we just got to hold on till we get our guys back. I don't want to go there. I'm done with that. Because I don't know realistically how many of those guys are going to be back.
Well, and how much does Jalil Farouk help? Realistically speaking, how much does Jalil Farouk change as far as the overall outlook for this offense? In my mind, Tyler, not a whole heck of a lot. Like, sure, you'd rather have him than not, but I don't feel all that differently about Oklahoma as an offensive football team with Jalil Farouk as opposed to without Jalil Farouk. Gunnar from Grove says, watched New Mexico State play last night, and Seth McGowan was the starting running back. I found myself saying we could sure use him.
Hey, that's how bad it is that you watch other games right now and you say, geez, I'd kill to have that guy back on our roster right now. Seth McGowan, Marcus Major, Tawee Walker backfield right now. Man, maybe we could have scored a touchdown against Texas if we had that trio back in the backfield. Yeah, Mike S. says I miss capable offense, as do I. Something's good's got to happen this week, man. I don't, like, can we even think like how they're going to attack the South Carolina defense and what the game plan's going to be? Like, the last thing you want is your true freshman quarterback back there and you allow situations to let their pass rushers get loose. Because everyone talks about Dylan Stewart, and he's really good, the true freshman. But Kyle Kennard, 17 tackles, 11.5 TFLs, and 7.5 sacks already. It's not just Dylan Stewart, who may be the best defensive lineman they have since Jadeveon Clowney. Kyle Kennard's really good, too. You cannot put your quarterback in that spot where those guys are just pinning their ears back and getting after it. But
did you say 7.5 sacks?
That's what, yeah, I have this 7.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
7.5 sacks. In what, 6 games?
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is he's getting his.
Actually, you know what? That's courtesy of OUinsider.com, the OU South Carolina preview that Jesse put out. That's exactly where that's from. I took a screenshot of it.
Well, there you go. That's why you subscribe to OUinsider.com.
I mean, if Jesse has it, right? I mean, it's good enough for me.
Know your foe. 7.5 sacks in 6 games. So, again, what you're telling me is he's going to get home on Saturday at least once or twice. You're just going to kind of have to cope with it. Now, what this offense cannot have happen, and I believe another one of my coworkers, Brian Clinton, is currently working on a piece that lays this all out with data over at OUinsider.com. But one of the things that has just completely sunk this offense in 2024 is the amount of drive-killing plays. That's the term that Brian and Jesse have coined. Drive-killing plays that they have experienced on first down. And basically what they quantify as a drive-killing play is anything, loss of yards, sack, penalty, that puts you behind the chains immediately on first down.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hint, Tyler. When that happens, and it has happened a lot, the rest of the possession does not tend to go all that well for this Oklahoma offense.
Well, and something that I say interested in seeing, but this offense is one that if it's not operating with a whole lot of momentum, it really is poor at creating momentum for itself. So, and here's kind of a bigger point, Parker, to that research is, okay, well, that drive, when they get behind the sticks on first down, clearly doesn't go well. What do the next 2 to 3 drives look like after that? You know what I mean? Like, okay, that drive goes poorly, but then if they have any momentum at all, they lose a ton of momentum after that. They're probably punting it 3 plays later, and then what do the next 2 to 3 look like as well? So getting behind the sticks can not only affect one drive, but with this offense right now, it can affect more than one drive.
Sooner Juts on the text line said, Tyler, let's have positivity hour. Also, Tyler, South Carolina's defense is legit, and I've given up on getting wide receivers back.
I'm trying, Jets. Jeez, I was reading some
We made it 20
here.
minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess closer to 15 than 20.
All right,
But
I'll try to read some.
we almost made it a full segment, staying positive.
Hawaiian Sooner says, how's this for being positive? At 4-2, we are almost through our 1 year of penance for joining the SEC. We get to drink and forget about it on the Grove coming up in 10 days or so.
Lost City Sooner says, can we erect a volcano outside the stadium?
Okay.
And then toss someone in it to appease our thirst for someone to get fired? It could be the new third quarter event. Please direct your attention to the south end of the stadium, where we will now fire someone and throw them into our volcano.
Throw them into the volcano. Yes. Do we need to talk about who we need to sacrifice to throw into
the volcano is Seth Luttrell.
Oh, no. Lost City Sooner says, I told you we should talk fishing. Yeah, you did say that yesterday, and it does sound like a pretty good idea right now. All right, 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Guy from Parts Unknown says, football is really the only sport I follow anymore. Love it. Last week, my old high school lost by 49. My college team lost by 31. My pro team lost by 38. I got your positivity right here. More middle finger emojis in this segment alone than I think we've ever gotten on the text line, which is saying something.
I'm not saying you asked for this, Tyler, but you kind of asked for
it.
this.
I was just trying, jeez. All right, maybe we'll talk some crootin next. We'll definitely hit some college football. You know what we do right here on the Ref. We're the home of Sooner fans.
Hey, this is Luke Elzinga, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Get ready for a month of scares at Heyday. Try our Halloween-themed drinks or enter to win our digital costume contest. Looking to up the fright factor? Check out Heyday After Dark. Play thrilling zombie laser tag and enjoy our haunted happy hour every Friday and Saturday from 9 p.m. to close. It's time to get in the spooky spirit the Heyday way.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See me, Brian McPherson, and let us help protect all your cars.
Give Hell the Bird with Mallard Construction and Roofing. Mallard Construction and Roofing is your full-service residential roofing and restoration company. Family owned and operated, Mallard wants to make a difference in every aspect of the process from bidding to completion of the job. As 2023 Reader's Choice Awards Best Roofer, we have all the tools necessary to make your job successful. Give Hell the Bird today and call Mallard Construction and Roofing at 405-364-4501 for your free quote.
Also, schedule a roof inspection today with Mallard and enter their Jeep giveaway contest.
Hey, I'm Reba McEntire. Growing up in Oklahoma, I had big dreams of becoming a successful country music singer. But I also knew the odds were against me and that I needed an education to fall back on. Studying never got in the way of my dreams. In fact, school gave me lots of opportunities I wouldn't have had otherwise with my career. Please stay in school and try your best. You never know where a good education might take you. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids are facing hunger every day? Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
It's back! The Honey Pepper Pimento Sandwich at the 12th Avenue Chick-fil-A in Norman now comes with an original or spicy filet, pimento cheese, mild pickled jalapenos, and a drizzle of honey on a toasted bun. Chick-fil-A is your place for tailgates, team meals, birthdays, celebrations, and all your catering needs. Sandwiches, nuggets, delicious sauces, and gallons of lemonade and tea. Call the 12th Avenue Chick-fil-A in Norman today at 405-310-3189. Eat more chicken and boomers sooner.
Stand Up to Cancer asked leading cancer researchers to speak about why they do their work.
Two words come to mind for me. One is responsibility, the other is purpose.
It's just so inspiring to do research that impacts human lives.
Stand Up to Cancer has been a critical partner in advancing research for cancer.
Cancer research saves lives.
So please, help us fight in this battle against cancer.
Be a part of the team that ends cancer at standuptocancer.org.
Hey Sooners, I'm OU alum and Board Street Ventures founder James Spann. The Sooners season is underway, which means it's time for the Boyd Street Ventures Under the Radar Player of the Game. It's time for you to consider investing in BSV. Our portfolio has 16 innovative, under-the-radar, Oklahoma-connected companies. If you want in, the sooner the better, as our fund closes December 31st. Check out our portfolio at BoydStreetVentures.com. Boyd Street Ventures, under the radar, above the crowd.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the ref. We're the home of Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune, Ref Army, 405-651-3439. Keep it coming on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. I got a positive for you. Has to deal with the University of Oklahoma. It's not the football team, but Patty Gasso continues to roll on the recruiting trail. Just another 5-star. No big deal. Like 2 5-stars in the past 2 weeks. Ella Kate Smith, E.K. Smith, commits to OU yesterday. 5-star pitcher out of the Houston area, and she's the number 12 player nationally, according to Softball America.
Y'all think she can play left guard?
I don't know. One way to find out. I'd be wide receiver, running back. Whatever. But OU softball's got the number 1 overall recruiting class in 2025 and the number 2 class right now, according to Softball America, in 2026. Patty Gasso will save us all. She will save us from a miserable first year in the SEC. She will do it if someone else doesn't save us before. Maybe Jenny Baranchek will do that. But Patty Gasso's got our back. That's for sure.
Again, another exhibit in the sense that everything sucks when the Sooners aren't winning football games. Broken Arrow Fat Boy on the text line says, I nominate the loudmouth jackwagon MC on the field for the volcano sacrifice.
Reba is not faring well on the text line right now, by the way.
And the amount of strays that have been thrown and caught by the most random parties over the course of this week is astonishing. I guess it's to be expected when you play as poorly as OU did against Texas on Saturday.
Tell the Air Force to get a new spokesman on this station. Reba is dead to me. 918. If I hear Reba on commercial one more time, I'm going to rip my phone in half. I hope Reba doesn't have any plan. I don't know if she's still doing concerts or not. I have no idea. But if she's got a concert plan in the OKC metro area, it might sell out, but it might sell out just so everyone will show up. Boo! And throw the horns down at her.
Yeah, somebody said throw Reba in the volcano, too.
I think it's pretty crappy by Reba, though, in all honesty. Like, she is someone from Oklahoma, and, now... You kick us while we're down, Reba, now? we've known that you're an Oklahoman for a long, long time, and we're just now finding out that you're a Texas fan? That's crap. I'm with you guys. Tommy says Reba's been removed from my playlist, and I totally agree. Totally agree. 3-star UConn Bob, my positivity hour is I'm sure OU can beat my hometown school, UConn High. Well, let's hopefully we can see them soon. That'd be nice.
Haven't watched UConn in a year or two yet, but from what I can recall, I do feel confident that Oklahoma could beat UConn on a neutral field. On the road, I'm not sure, but on a neutral field, yes.
Anything to note with 4-star linebacker and Alabama commits Luke Metz, who a lot of people are talking about today? Sounds like maybe OU, Tennessee, Oregon, and Georgia trying to flip the Bama commits?
Yeah, pipe dream.
Been committed since March.
Pipe dream.
There was a quote that said one school is recruiting Metz like crazy. So it sounds like it's Tennessee, Oregon, or Georgia.
What's very odd to me is that Oklahoma dragged their feet offering Luke Metz. They were very early to start recruiting him. Like, they were ahead of a lot of the blue blood schools in college football. A lot of his big offers, a lot of those schools didn't even know who Luke Metz was when Oklahoma started recruiting him. But they didn't offer till after almost everybody else did. They had him to campus for an unofficial visit at the beginning of February and then didn't offer him for another 3 weeks. And at that point, he was already a 4-star. He already had all the big-time offers.
Yeah.
And
he's a state of Georgia kid, too.
Well, exactly.
So, yeah.
I think the Sooners could have had a legit shot at Luke Metz, but they kind of missed the boat. And they've been playing catch-up ever since. They've continued to recruit him hard. There just hasn't really been any traction. You might be able to coax him into an OV, but are you going to flip the kid? I'm not optimistic at all because Georgia got the kid to OV, and they couldn't flip him. If a Georgia kid won't flip from Alabama to Georgia, what would lead you to believe he's going to flip from Alabama to Oklahoma?
Yeah, again, been a commit to Bama since late March 24th, and he's a top 100 player nationally. He's not just like, he'd be nice to add to this class. He's a number 89 player overall nationally, according to Rivals, the number 3 player at his position, 6'3", 220 pounds. So if we're talking about linebacker flips, it sounds like we need to stay on the Caleb Burns train way more than we need to stay on the Luke Metz train. Here's what Rivals has to say about the 3-star linebacker that's currently a Baylor commits. Oregon has made the right push so far for the high 3-star backer who's committed to Baylor. Burns loved his visit to Eugene over the weekend, from the hospitality to the game atmosphere, as he loved every minute of the visit. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and others are pushing as well, and he's expected in Norman this weekend. So Oregon made themselves a play this past weekend.
But again, nothing is imminent there. Oregon did make an early impression, a very strong first impression getting him on campus. It was a great game day to have a guy like that on campus for. But the inhibiting factor remains distance. Is it something that can't be overcome? I wouldn't say that. I've seen Oregon overcome it before. There are ways. But from everything I've been told throughout this process, and the message really hasn't changed this week in talking to the people closest to that recruitment, it's that OU just kind of makes the most sense on paper for him and his family, as long as it feels like there's a fit there and everything feels right to the kid and his folks, then it's going to be OU. So I still feel good about Caleb Burns and the Sooners being a match in the end. I can't make any promises, but still feel pretty good about that one.
405 says 3-star. Man, that's right in our wheelhouse. We've talked about this a couple of times before. I think we both expect him to be a 4-star by the end, by the end of the cycle here, by the end of signing day. Whenever Rivals does their next ranking update, got to think he'll be a 4-star. JD and Tulsa, Baylor commits will make us just as SEC ready as North Texas and SMU transfers have.
Oh, gosh. Listen, JD, just because he's committed to Baylor does not mean he is merely a Baylor caliber player. This kid just picked up an offer from Ole Miss. He picked up an offer from Oregon. There were a couple other big-time ones that he added in recent days, too. The point is, he is highly coveted on the very top end of the totem pole across the P4. Caleb Burns is a really good football player.
Chris from Knoxville says, I'm just as upset as everyone else, but trust me, it can get a lot worse. I watched Middle Tennessee State versus Kennesaw State last night. That was bad football.
14-5 was the final score of that football game.
So be thankful. You've watched some tough football this year, some bad football, but at least you're not Middle Tennessee State.
To be fair,
that's where we're
14-5 could very well be the final score of the game this weekend between OU and South Carolina.
I mean, you're not lying, though. Like, sometimes you're being, funny saying that, but you're actually not lying.
Serious.
I just hope OU's the 14 and not the 5. not lose by a weird football, like a football score, like a 5 or something like that. With what you have, I mean, it would be 2 more than last week. It'd be an improvement, I guess. But yeah, big game, big game when it comes to potential bowl eligibility coming up on Saturday. The SEC availability report will be released tonight. I mean, who are we even realistically watching on there? Deion Burks? Cade McIntyre?
Yeah.
I guess.
And I remain pessimistic, cynical about Deion Burks' chances to play this Saturday. I guess we'll see. He'll probably be listed as questionable, just like he was last week at this time when everybody knew, at least if you listened to this show in these airwaves, that he wasn't playing against Texas. So who knows what that availability report tonight actually tells us. But, yeah, Deion Burks is the only guy whose status is really in question, at least among guys who are going to have a major impact on the game.
So he went out, what was it, late second, early third, whenever it was against Tennessee. So he's been out 2 full games, which is essentially a third of the games that you've played so far this year. And I believe he's still the leading receiver on the squad right now. Yeah, Burks is your leading receiver right now with 201 yards. So that bears the question.
That's your leading receiver, 201 yards.
26 receptions, 3 touchdowns. I believe all 3 of those came in the first half against Temple, right?
201 American yards.
Well, you only have 237 American yards as your leading rusher this year, so
goodness
gracious. Which one hurts more?
This is Iowa. It's like I'm covering Iowa.
All that to say,
Josh Helmer is the one guy that's prepared for this.
Oh, man.
He's been trained properly to deal with situations like these.
Who do you like? Obviously, Burks has the most receiving yards. I don't think he's going to play either. So who's wide receiver 1? I mean, I don't think they look at anybody and say, "Hey, there he comes walking down the hall. There's wide receiver 1. I see him. He's our go-to guy." But really, what I'm asking is, who's got the best opportunity to be the leading receiver this week?
Well, the guy that led you in receiving against Texas, with 4 catches for 45 yards, mind you, was a guy that came in with 2 catches on the season. So I don't have a clue, Tyler. Like Brennan Thompson, maybe, I guess. There's no answer that anybody is going to want to hear, you know, because whether it's J.J. Hester or Reagans or maybe Ivan Carrion, maybe people would be excited and enthused if I said, yeah, Ivan Carrion leads the Sooners in receiving this weekend. Because he's 6'6". Maybe that is the best answer or the answer that people most want to hear. But anyway you slice it, not ideal.
Let's see. Brad says, can Burks redshirt? Eric, the Mets fan, says, is there a chance Deion Burks could medical redshirt, or is he gone next year either way?
Yeah, so let's see what happens the rest of the way. Let's see whether Deion Burks returns to action for Oklahoma. As of right now, he has played in only 4 games. So if he were to miss the remainder of the season, he could get this year of eligibility back. I would not say he's gone one way or another. I don't think you can jump to the NFL right now if you're Deion Burks based on how this season has gone. And if you do, you're really taking a flyer and you're betting on yourself, which is not beyond him. That's not to say he can't make it work, but you'd rather be going to the NFL with a solid season of production right there in the rearview mirror than a season where you were dealing with injuries and didn't really make a huge productive dent after the season opener.
By the way, did you like Brent's response on the teleconference today about, hey, do you have an update on Jalil Farouk and his injury status?
He said, I don't.
Yeah, I don't. That was it. Yeah, I don't. That was it. That made me laugh.
580 Nate says, I heard Kendall Dolby's faking an injury too.
No, he's not faking an injury. Guy was crying there on the sidelines of the game, and Brent Venables was down there, and everyone else.
A 405 listener pointed out, Alex Storako going to be back in town? That would be a positive.
I would guess so with Davis Bevel. Hey, Davis
the Bevel Bowl coming up.
Davis Bevel got in the game against Akron a couple of weeks ago for South Carolina. I don't remember the stat line. I need to go back and look at it, but yeah, he got in the football game and everything.
Maybe he'll get in this one when South Carolina is winning 34-3.
Here's Bevel's season stats: 4 attempts, 6 completions, 4 of 6 for 33 yards and 1 touchdown.
Wow, he threw a touchdown pass?
Threw a touchdown pass.
Good for him. It's quite literally more than he ever did in an Oklahoma uniform.
He has a long of a 14-yard completion this year.
Hey, and
not as many as OU.
So I did some digging, and I had to bring this up because it's hilarious. But you remember in 2022 during that game when everybody was like, "Where's Micah Bowens? Just play Micah Bowens. Just have Micah Bowens play quarterback." So Micah Bowens, after doing absolutely nothing except running with the scout team at OU in 2022, transferred to Charlotte, where he did not see the field in 2023, then transferred again, and he is spending the 2024 season at Bethune-Cookman University.
Nice.
Where, I kid you not, I'm not making this up, I promise you, his season statistics, and he's clearly not starting because these are backup statistics. They're sporadic. It's like, okay, 4 throws here, 3 throws there. He is 3 for 11 for 1 yard and an interception.
3 for 11 with 1 yard and a pick.
So
yikes.
I love to bring that up lately when people say, well, it can't get any worse. Yeah, it can. It can absolutely get worse. Even if it seems like it can't, it can get worse.
Yeah, my bad, Gunny. 6 attempts with 4 completions. Have you seen General Booty's numbers? I just looked up his.
No, what are his?
I mean, if we're all going to be miserable, you got to pick on everyone. He is 28 of 53 for 241, 1 pick, and 2 touchdowns this year.
That's modest.
I mean, 1 touchdown and 2 picks.
Oh, 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Okay.
28 of 53, 241 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Okay, yeah.
He has thrown for over 100 yards in 1 game, and that was against Jackson State when he threw for 104 yards.
Yeah, so that's a General Booty stat line.
Yeah, and I see what you did there. Very, very nice job. Oh, you going to throw for over 200 yards in a game this year?
At this rate?
Fact or fiction. Dude, they need to do a fact or fiction on that.
Fact or fiction. OU will have a 200-yard passer at any point in 2024.
Come on, Gorney. Make it happen, man. Do it. Get Parker involved on that. I'd love to read that. All right, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We'll close up Locked In coming up next.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
Where are you going to golf this fall? Toby Rowland here for the Trails Golf Club in Norman. When you join the Trails, it gives you the opportunity for you and your family to spend quality time together. From the great golf, pool in the summer, and great holiday events, plus one of the best restaurants in Norman. Join now and play golf on an 18-hole championship golf course. That's perfect for the entire family. Contact Zane Alexander today at 405-364-3790 or visit trailsgolf.com.
Mike Steele here for Lasher Home Comfort Systems, your trusted home comfort experts in the Oklahoma City metro area. Tim Lasher and his team have more than 130 years of combined experience. They recognize a significant number of homeowners live with inadequate home comfort systems. They specialize in diagnosing your home system issues while providing more efficiency and reducing your utility costs. As an authorized dealer of American Standard, Tim can service your residence or business. Call Tim and his team at 405-579-3113. Lasher Home Comfort Systems.
The Sooners aren't the only team in Norman killing it in the transfer portal. Bob Stoops.
Some of the things that they do, it's a little bit questionable, but like, seriously, you did that?
Dusty Dvorak.
The last thing that you want to have happen is find yourself falling behind.
Brian Bosworth.
You know, it's such a great call because they disguised the blitz.
The Ref continues to prove this is the home of Sooner fans. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Here at The Ref, we know football, and we talk football every single day. But it wouldn't be possible without the great people at Wade Electric. Because while we know football, we trust Wade Electric for all of our electrical needs. Anytime we need electrical work done at our station, we call Wade Electric. They've been out to install new exterior lighting, convert interior lighting to LED, update devices, and install new power where needed. Call them today at 405-329-1940. Wade Electric, the electrical experts.
Hi, my name is John Herman, and I'm a dad with 2 kids at Monroe Elementary School and a son at Alcott Middle School. This past year, my 4th grade daughter was invited to preach at McFarland Memorial United Methodist Church. McFarland is our return to center place, where after long weeks of practices and rehearsals, I know my kids can find a place where they are loved and supported. If you're looking for a church like that, I've got a seat saved for you.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. Being from Oklahoma, I know a thing or two about natural disasters. Tornadoes are common where I'm from and have affected my life and the lives of people I care about. No matter where you live, be aware of the dangers in your area and have a plan. You can create an emergency kit, come up with an evacuation plan, and know where to seek shelter. You never know when a disaster may hit. These simple steps can help save a life. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland and Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Hey Sooner fans, Caleb Kelly here for Mitchell's Jewelry. Choosing wedding bands is an important purchase, and when it was time, I was happy to find the team at Mitchell's Jewelry made it so easy. I had a great experience and was so glad to see their tremendous selection. They really listened to me and I couldn't be happier with my choices. If you're looking for a jewelry store with top quality selection, competitive pricing, and the best customer service, go see the team at Mitchell's Jewelry. Check them out on your socials or visit them at 2201 West Main Street in Norman. Boomer Sooner.
Dorsey Jones, Buick GMC in El Reno, bringing this hour of Locked In with McComas and Thune. Dorsey Jones is family-owned and operated, established in 2020, but many of their employees have been there for more than 20 years. We sell Buicks and GMCs, which are some of the best trucks and SUVs on the road. Dorsey Jones, Buick GMC in El Reno. Hey, for those of you that are going on the OU Ole Miss road trip, we are finalizing our plans, exactly where we're going to be, and it is looking likely. Highly likely that I'll be in Memphis for the show on Friday at a really cool spot. Are you, any chance you think you'll get to Memphis by noon on Friday, or probably not?
Likely not.
Okay. That stinks. Well, maybe next time. But we should have, Ref should have something going on Friday afternoon from 2 to 6 in Memphis. I think a lot of OU fans are going to be out there in Memphis because, well, not a whole lot of places to stay in the Oxford area there. Take the short drive down from Memphis to Oxford on game day. I mean, is anything else? I mean, is Caleb Burns really the only thing worth paying attention to in the 2025 class now that everyone thinks Babalola's going to Michigan?
Well, there is an official visitor this weekend in the 2025 class, an uncommitted one at that. We've talked about him before. You remember having the conversation about Austin Peay?
Yeah, yep.
BYU, Oregon, Oklahoma vying for his pledge. And kind of, look, I'm not saying there is as little of a chance as I feel like there is with Luke Metz, because I do feel like flipping Luke Metz is close to 0% of probability. But I would keep expectations minimal with Austin Peay because there are a lot of ties to BYU there, as we've discussed. His family is LDS. Dad played at BYU. He's got 2 brothers currently on the roster at BYU. And he's a Utah kid. Highland, Utah, Lone Peak High School, I believe is it something like that? One of those big time Utah schools is where he plays ball. 6'7", 285 pounds. He's a guy that obviously fits the mold of what you're looking for in a prototypical tackle, but the twist, the wrinkle here, is that he's going to serve a mission immediately following high school and won't be on any college campus until 2027. So you basically have to regard him as a class of 2027 commit. And although he does have all those ties to BYU, it is somewhat telling, Tyler, that he has not yet committed to BYU.
Sure.
So he's at the very least questioning it. Now, that doesn't mean he ultimately doesn't end up at BYU because, as we saw and heard from Christian Jones, right, as he said, he spent all summer thinking he was going to go to Oklahoma. Then he watches the first couple weeks of the season and decides he's going to stay home, play for Nebraska. So something similar could happen with Austin Peay. He's already OV'd Oregon. He's going to OV Oklahoma this weekend. BYU is undefeated right now, ranked in the top 15. So they're putting a good product on the football field. I think it's going to be hard for him not to choose BYU in the end. It's not impossible. And OU's taking their shot. Bill Bedenbaugh's got a long-standing relationship here, so we'll see what comes of it.
Zach and Guthrie, yes. Let me confirm that for sure before I say the location. But yes, I think that's exactly where the party Friday in Memphis is going to be. Lloyd says it's not up to us fans or the media. This is all up to Joe C. Just like with Porter Moser, Joe C. doesn't bail on his coaches.
Yeah, and I truly don't think, and this is not a take that everybody's going to agree with, but that's what makes sports radio great. I don't think even if OU were to go 5-7 this year, that there is enough to conclude that Brent Venables is not the guy and dismiss him, especially when you are mindful of the circumstances and all of the injuries that they have been through.
But he's on one of the hottest seats in college football going into next year.
And that is undeniable. If OU goes 5-7 or 6-6 or even really 7-5, the seat is warm. Heading into the 2025
I don't know
season.
if it's a totally new offensive staff, if that's the case, or even at 6-6, man. I don't know if it's a totally new offensive staff, but you definitely have a new OC and a new play caller, and it's kind of like, all right, Brett, you get an opportunity to redo this one, and then we'll see what happens in the 2025 season. Percent chance we see Jackson Arnold play again this year for OU. Seems to be an interesting topic going on right now, especially after what Brent said the past couple of days.
I mean, 30, 40% chance. I think what everybody's hoping, this is just me talking, I think what everybody's hoping is that Michael Hawkins proves to be the answer the rest of the way, and you don't have to have a legitimate conversation about whether or not you want Jackson Arnold to go in the game. Because I'm sure that as much as Jackson Arnold is a competitor and wants to be great at the University of Oklahoma, as Brent Venables has said, I'm sure he'd also not like to burn a year for 5 or 6 games like he did a season ago. And by the same token, you don't want your quarterback situation to get any more controversial than it already is if you're Brent Venables and this staff.
I don't think Jackson Arnold would come into a game this year for the remainder of the year in a blowout situation. Either OU's blowing someone out, I know it's hard to believe, but I'm just throwing out the situation. If OU's up big late or OU is down late, I don't know if you'd see Casey Thompson or who you would see, but I don't think it would be Jackson Arnold. I think the 30% that you're kind of not holding on to, but that you're giving there is if something were to happen to Michael Hawkins during a very crucial point of the game, then I think it could be very likely that Jackson Arnold is the one that comes in. But I think that they'll preserve that red shirt to a point. Like, is there a chance that he could start a game this year? I still think there's a chance he would start a game this year. But until he plays his next game, I don't think that there's a chance that he's in a blowout scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And that's really the only way you can play it, out of fairness to everybody involved. Gunny of Stutzman Army says, hey, fellas, hear me out, okay? Bevel has 4 attempts with 6 completions. If this is his stats, maybe we should look into bringing this guy to OU.
Bring him back. Hey, this could be like a Major League Baseball trade where you trade a guy and it's like, hey, we're going to need you to go ahead and change dugouts here. You know, you've heard trades like that before where guys just trade dugouts there. They're on yeah, that's what we need here. Bevel's back.
We call, like, if what Gunny mentioned were to come to fruition, were to happen, we just call that the Austin Stogner.
Yeah.
Spend a year at South Carolina, come straight on back. Bevel's out of eligibility, though, so.
The Normanite says, okay, can you guys just talk about what you've seen on film that we think the offensive line can block, or is it just all bad? Thank you. Love the show.
The offensive line picture is not pretty right now. Communication still isn't great. Technique is not great. They're just not winning with any consistency at the point of attack. They're not doing a good enough job protecting Michael Hawkins, who was sacked 5 times against Texas on Saturday. And they're making life difficult on the running backs to be able to find the holes and find the creases and get downfield. Now, that's not to say that everybody on that line is useless. I think Jacob Sexton's a great player. I think Fabechi Wiwu, for the most part, has been solid. Michael Tarquin has certainly had moments. But all in all, the play of that unit as a whole has not been where it needs to be for Oklahoma to have offensive success. And that's really where it starts, Tyler. Yeah. That's not the root of all the issues, but when you're losing the battle in the trenches, you're going to have issues, and those issues are going to multiply elsewhere.
Yeah, they even did a really good job against the run against Alabama on Saturday. I mean, you hear this a lot. How many times have you heard, like, the underdog played in a close game? Like, man, they should have won that football game. They gave that game away. I went back watching it today, and knowing the outcome that South Carolina lost the game, there were a couple of points where, oh, my God, South Carolina is really going to lose this game? They get an interception in the end zone here, and South Carolina's going to end up losing this game? South Carolina did kind of give that game away, man. They should have won that football game. But they, when we think about South Carolina right now, we think of their pass rushers. But my point is they did a really good job against the run. Bama just had 104 rushing yards on 38 attempts, less than 3 yards per rush, 2.7 for Bama on Saturday. That's really good, man. That's really good.
Derek in Wichita Falls is floating more positivity at us.
Oh, let's go.
He said, here's some positivity. I get to go see Nate Bargatze in Las Vegas since I won't be spending $1,000 on 2 seats to watch Alabama stomp a mud hole in our derriere.
Are they still going to be $1,000 for 2 seats by the time that game rolls around? Hey, Alabama's not looking all that good either. Lost at Vandy, almost lost to South Carolina. We'll see if they win at Tennessee or not. We'll see what version of Bama we get by the time they roll into town. By the way, I think the spread is dropped another points. It is now Oklahoma minus 1.5, not 2.5 in this game. At least according to ESPN. I know we go by scoresandodds.com. Let me check on scoresandodds.com. But via ESPN's website, who I just got on there to check the rushing yards for Bama, yeah, that's what they have to say. You rolling with the points? Yep, 1.5. Line just dropped.
Yeah, well, again, Tyler, I am picking South Carolina to win this game.
You think South Carolina's a favorite by kickoff?
And I also think there's a very good chance South Carolina's a favorite by kickoff, yes.
Because it's like the availability report comes out on Wednesday and Thursday, and everyone's like, what? And then yeah.
How much does that line move when Deion Burks is declared out?
Man. Yeah. Well, Wednesday he's always questionable, right? Or at least he has been the past couple of weeks. And then by Thursday he's out. So I would expect to see it go the same way this week. Questionable tonight and then out tomorrow. I guess Pete Nakos had a report on Nick Anderson. I don't know if you read that or not, but what's he saying, that he's contemplating going to the league next year? Is that what's going on with Nakos' report on Nick Anderson?
Yeah, and he also called Nick Anderson week to week. Nick Anderson is not week to week.
No. He's not. I'm just hoping Nick Anderson's back playing football at the University of Oklahoma next year. I hope that's the case. Let's see, 580, if South Carolina can score more than 2 field goals, they've already won. Guy from Parts Unknown, we will get the first half of Alabama against the Georgia version, the half where they played really well. Yeah, I'm sure.
What was it, 28-0 after the first quarter of play?
Man, we were doing the post-game show out there at the RV lot at Auburn. I kept looking up. I'm like, oh, Bama just scored again. Oh, Bama just scored again. Oh, Bama got a safety right here. Like, they were all over Georgia, man. All over Georgia. Insane. Is anyone in the SEC, I guess there's a few teams that are happy with the way things are going right now. Vanderbilt is very happy with the way things are going right now.
Oh, if you're Vanderbilt, you're over the moon, man. You've got the best football team you've fielded since the James Franklin days.
Texas is happy with where things are going right now, which kills me inside. I guess Texas A&M is probably very happy with where things are going.
Aggies are in a great spot, man. And LSU fans got to be pretty thrilled with their turnaround.
I guess there's more teams than I thought. A quarter of the conference right now. But Tennessee fans are not happy. Alabama fans are probably not happy. They're not happy. Georgia fans, I think, are just like, what's going on here? When are we going to turn it on?
Missouri fans are squaring with reality.
All 8 of them.
Kentucky fans are Kentucky fans.
Waiting for basketball.
Yeah, they're stuck in purgatory. They're neither satisfied nor disgusted because they really can't be. Mark Stoops is going to win them 8 games a year, and that's more than anybody since Bear Bryant has ever been able to do at Kentucky.
Auburn fans are too afraid to speak up because their coach is going to throw them under the bus on a press conference in front of the entire country. 405 says, wait, somebody's paying $1,000 for a pair of Bama tickets? DM me now. I was doing those for $1,000. Yeah. 432, Alabama fans are not only, they're not happy, but they are very entitled.
Yeah. A 918 listener says, hey, Parker, if any one of those injured receivers leaves the team for the NFL or for another college next, then you can't tell me otherwise. They were just hurt. Well, they are just hurt right now. Like, that is reality. All those guys are just hurt. That's why they are not playing. Can I promise you that every single one of them comes back? No, guys have different individual circumstances. I'm not going to promise you that Deion Burks or Nick Anderson or Andrell Anthony or whoever might be back next year, but I will tell you, they all have very legitimate reasons for not playing football right now.
2-star Sooner Jet says, well, that was one hell of a positivity hour. I know I feel better. Thanks, guys. A lot of sarcasm there. But fair point. Fair point, Sooner Jets. At least I tried. At least I tried to do something different.
You made a good faith effort, and that's all we can ask
But
for.
it was like the offensive game plan last week. I found some success early, but then it went to crap. Went to crap quickly. All right, that'll do it for Locked In. I don't really know what's in store attitude-wise for the Rush for the next 3 hours.
About to find out.
But I guess we'll find out next, right here on The Ref. We're the home of Sooner fans.
Football. You love it. We love it. You live it. We live it. You need it. We got it. Nobody covers college football better. The Rush.
Right here on the Ref Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Considering refinancing your mortgage? Now might be the perfect